You see the other studs, they're not going away. All right, this is going to come down to the wire for the cash prizes. If you're just joining us, again, this is Title Tuesday, which is the world's strongest online tournament to take place once a month. I can say that because it's true. Anywhere on any chess server, this is the strongest chess tournament that occurs online. Period. End of discussion. Is it the most entertaining chess tournament? I can't necessarily say that, because big announcement on September 16th, let's just say some of the world's most popular streaming personalities will all be playing in a match via your request from Reddit, AMAs, and others. That's right. Chess.com has taken the bull by the horns and organizing that event. But let's focus here. So Lexiel finally met somebody who could play at her level. So she moved from a perfect 4 to 4 out of 5. Amir Balog, we just saw him go down to Lion Beast, the Beast mode. Bugs Bunny 444, that's a well-known Chess.com member. He's swimming with the Sharks as a FIDE master. And the next round begins. So I got to quickly give away our next premium membership as we observe Hikaru's game this time against Becca. A great question, probably one that everybody here would love the answer to. Mr. Arthur Ribeiro, he gets a 1-month gold membership. Will someone please give Arthur Ribeiro? He says, I don't want to play opening systems because you told me not to. First of all, thank you for watching my videos and listening to my advice. But what am I supposed to do when regular opening theory is overwhelming? How many of us have felt that way? Guilty. I feel that way, even at my level. So what I want to say is this. That doesn't go away. I mean, staying up on topical opening theory, especially if you have this expectation, like you're going to be reading all Peter Docker's news reports, right, on Chess.com, and you're going to check the analysis with your stockfish, and you're going to really try to be theoretically on top of stuff. It's exhausting, right? But what I want to say is for 90% of the people out there who ask that question, the thing you really need to approach or change in your thought process there is understanding the whys of whether you're playing a system, which probably if you're like 2,000 or below, I should probably take back what I said. It's not that bad of an idea. Because one of the advantages of playing a system is you reach the same types of pawn structures over and over again. So you're not really reinventing the wheel at the board. You really are familiar with the middle game tactics that occur. You're familiar with the pawn structure ideas that occur, and so you can play quickly, and you can play based on that pattern recognition and that sort of familiarity you have with the formation. So those are some of the advantages. They're very practical advantages. You save time on the clock. You're going to win a few games because your opponent just didn't know the system as well as you and just made some horrible decision. But very often systems, at a high level, they become predictable. And they also, here's the reason why I said not to do it. I said not to do it not because those reasons aren't good ones. I said not to do it because it doesn't help your growth in terms of exposing you to other types of positions. Which, if you don't know how to play isolated queen pawn positions, you're hurting your own chess, right? Learning how to play a Spanish structure, right? That's really important pawn tension 101 to learn how to play those positions, which is a really topical opening in the Spanish. But the Spanish structure also occurs out of Frenches, out of King's Indians, out of Sicilians. You may not have known that. So the reason I said that is because you're hurting your growth. So my answer to you would be this. Stop trying to memorize opening theory, which is what you said in your tweet, and just try to understand the why every time you go over a game. What I mean by is this. You play a game and the game left theory. Try to look at it and be like, okay, Opening Explorer says this has been played 600 times. I played this. Let me understand why the move they're playing is played versus the move I played. Understand just, if you did that on move 9, then the next time you play that exact position on move 10, you'll make one small improvement. Then maybe on move 10 you already screw up, but at least you got one move farther. So then what happens is every game becomes like its own building block. And if you actually try to establish the why, which might take a half an hour of going over their games and seeing why top players did what they did versus what you did, you'll actually understand the position versus memorizing it. You see what I'm saying? When you understand something, you don't forget how to do it. When you memorize it, the moment your opponent did something that wasn't in that little memorization you did, then you're out, you're in the woods because you didn't really take the time to understand the why of the position. Hopefully that makes sense. I'd have to talk a lot more about it, but at least you get a premium membership. Somebody give that guy a premium membership, Arthur Ribeiro, because I got to focus here. Hikaru is in big trouble. I don't know exactly what happened, but he blundered somewhere along the lines out of the opening, because this position looks rough for black. I have to back up and take a quick look. We're going to have to find a better way to give away premium memberships, or I'm just going to have to give faster answers. I'll give faster answers, because I got to focus on this chess here. What did he do? Did he just play a bad opening? Okay, he played a weird opening, but he was better here. And then what happened? Black still seems doing... Okay, this whole idea allowing knight to d5 is just not very good for black. And now all of a sudden... And then, oh, he just blundered the e5 pawn. He just blundered the e5 pawn. And the whole thing starts to fall apart. Wow. One blunder and everything falls apart. Hikaru will be lucky to draw this game. Hikaru will be lucky to draw this game. Okay, queen takes e5 at least as possible, because after queen takes f3, you can win the rook here. But this still seems like big trouble, little China for Hikaru. This seems like big, big trouble. And that could spell Hikaru's chances. That could eliminate Hikaru's chances for winning the event. But whoa, what has happened here? In the middle of my tangent, something redunculous happened. Lion Beast got taken down by Tal Baron, who is the new beast mode. We got to look at this. We have a Lopez, a mainline Ruy Lopez, nothing really to it. Spanish game happened, and then we have d3 instead of d4, maintaining flexibility. All right, everybody's happy, nothing big. White's just a little bit better in these systems until Vachier maybe just blundered. White's probably still even a teeny bit better in some of these positions. Oh, but not anymore. Not after the blunder of that pawn. And then Vachier kind of has to go all out because he blunders the e-pawn. So where did things really go wrong here? I mean, possibly already with a4 and having to take on e6, White needs to look to do something a little more dynamic in the center before Black's counterplay breaks through. You know, giving up the e-pawn for the e5 pawn is usually what you want to do here. But when Vachier didn't do that, Black is able to undermine the center anyway, and this e-pawn becomes a target. And that opens up the door for this knight remaneuver, which won the pawn. Okay, he didn't take here because he's going to lose the knight anyway, so he gives the check to try to open the king. But the fact is that Vachier-Lagrave's just down the exchange here. And now he's getting rolled. And he just absolutely blundered away that game. The reason why he resigned, everybody, is because after Tal Baron takes on a7, knight takes f5 takes, White can't even take on f5 with some sort of last-ditch chance because queen takes f5 would get checkmated. So Tal Baron has moved to first place clear with 6 points. He's 6-0, taking down Vachier-Lagrave, and Vachier-Lagrave is no longer in beast mode. So we need to get like a wah, wah, wah for when beast mode goes down, right? So, whoa, wait a second. Is Becca messing up this position? Becca might be messing up this position. We'll see. It's not clear yet, but Tal Baron, FYI, has never been the winner of a Title Tuesday, but he has gotten second, I think, a couple times. According to Stat Guy, he finished in second in Title Tuesday number 10, which was in June. So Tal Baron has been here before. But right now he's completely misplaying what was an equal rook, an ending where he could be the only one who won. Now he's in a position where, with 30 seconds on the clock and knowing who Hikaru Nakamura is, he could lose this game. All right, don't. I mean, okay, he shouldn't lose this game. He's a grandmaster, Becca 95, but he could theoretically, with the time being what it is, and with the position now at least becoming one where there's a mess, right? Whoa, that was a little bit of a strange move by Hikaru. Not quite sure I understand that. You know what he was trying to do? He was trying to bring the king back to catch the pawn, but that might have been a mistake. Huh. Wow, this is weird. The point is on king here, there's a backdoor rook trick, rook h8, and after rook takes d7, check, king up takes, king f5, king e7, king here. Yeah, Hikaru decides he's not going to go for that, and he's just going to take the draw. Okay. Becca95 didn't really even make it tricky. I think king f5 was a much better fighting chance, but Becca decides just going to play for the draw, which of course should be a pretty easy task now. Hikaru's going to try to win because he's Hikaru and he wants to win. We love that, but this is an easy draw. So where does that leave us in terms of the standings? Let's bring back up the standings. Tal Baron has got 6 out of 6 with Vachier-Lagrave, Dmitry Andreikin, Amir Balog, Toby-1 Kenobi fighting his way back after a first-round loss to, who was it? I think it was Vachier-Lagrave. Delugi, Tesla, lots of GMs, and women's GM Lexiel, she's hanging in there. Good for her. Hikaru is not going to win this one, which means he's not going to be amongst the 5 out of 6. He's going to be a half a point down. That leaves our top player with less chances to win than before, a full half a point farther behind. Let's see. Lots of other good questions. People fascinated by Alakine. People talking about what upcoming content am I particularly excited about. That's a good question. But it's just me plugging the site. There's a good one. BVB. You get the premium membership for round, what are we in, round 6? Is Chess 960 the future of chess? No, chess is the future of chess. Chess 960 is a great game, and I think at some point it will be played much... you need someone to really take the bull by the horns and I think provide some structure, some organizational structure, an officialdom that tracks things and holds regular events. I would love to do that if I had the time because it's just so much fun. I love Chess 960. But here's... computers have done as much for opening up new doors in chess as they have closed it. And at this point, what we're seeing with engine-level chess is they're playing chess at a higher level than we ever thought possible. And so much so that I don't think humans are capable of understanding why they're making the moves that they are. Besides, all we know is that if we play them, we're going to blunder and they're going to beat us because human beings make tactical mistakes that may be 30 moves deep, even for the best players, but it happens. But I don't know that human beings are ever going to be capable of playing chess at the computer's level where even if it does get solved, quote unquote. For the record, as amazing as it is that, we've put a man on the moon and we've done all these other things, requiring this extensive math, chess is not solved yet. I mean, Komodo and Stockfish continue to just get better and better, right? And leapfrog each other one at a time. So, chess hasn't been solved yet even by the engines, and I don't know that it's ever going to be capable of being solved by human beings. I don't know, that's my opinion. So you asked a good question because I think a lot of people like that discussion. They some people disagree, I'm sure, maybe human, but people said this, they were announcing the death of chess, I remember, before probably 90% of our viewers were even involved in chess, back in the early 2000s. When Kramnik and Kasparov played the World Championship match in London, in 2000, people were announcing the death of chess because of all the draws in the Berlin. But that was just two Russians being stubborn, man, in a good way. I mean, they were just going at it. But, computers have opened the doors as far as creativity and allowing humans to push their own, thoughts about being willing to play super risky and crazy positions because computers say they can. So, so I just don't agree. I think that Chess 960, if chess ever gets solved, Chess 960 is like a really good fail-safe button, like that Staples Easy button. I'm glad we have that button because when Chess 960 becomes popular, people who have knowledge of tactical patterns, strategical patterns, will still be good, Chess 960 players. Guys like me, chess professionals, won't be out of a job if all of a sudden classical chess is gone. We're not going to be out of a job. But I don't know that regular chess needs a future. You know what I think is the future of regular chess? Right here. You're looking at, I think, online chess. I think chess being more entertaining. And people, feeling like they have a better window to get education and get better at chess and enjoy the game in a way that's not, old school or intellectual elitist, making you feel like you're looking at a chess game and you have no idea what's going on. I'm not about that. So I think chess just needs more people just enjoying the game. That's my opinion. So there you go. You get a premium membership for that Chess 960 question. All right, we're going to jump over to the new leader of the tournament, and that is Tal Baron, who is currently faced off against Dmitry Andreikin. After Hikaru played that one out to stalemate, right? Andreikin is playing some real messy stuff here with this early e5 business. Tal Baron is not Boris Gelfand. I can say that. Somebody just said Tal Baron is Boris Gelfand. Will someone remind me who Tal Baron is, please? In the can I get some help? Tal Baron is white. We have an isolated queen-pawn structure with pretty ideal development for both sides. What I mean by that is that the goal playing against an IQP is to surround the squares around it and put yourself in a position to simplify white's pressure, the minor pieces, at the right time so that black can really kind of gang up and truly sort of strangle that pawn. What white wants is... Tal Baron is Tal Baron. Pro tip. Guess who Tal Baron is? Hey guys, guess who Tal Baron is? It's Tal Baron. Tal Baron. So black puts his pieces in a position to surround the pawn, and what white wants is exactly what you see here. White wants open diagonals, rooks on files. He does it right as I say it. These guys know how to play IQP positions, because what white wants is to use the activity that is inherently given because the pawn is isolated. By definition, if a pawn is isolated, there are no pawns on the adjacent files, and that means that white has activity. So that's what white wants to do. Black will probably play g6 here at some point and then relocate this bishop. It's like a fianchetto by hand because two reasons. One, the bishop on this diagonal is not going to get any better placed. And two, as soon as you play g6 and the bishop sits on this diagonal, you're usually kind of biting that bishop on the d3, h7 diagonal, preventing it from getting any kind of tacticos. That might happen. Let's branch out a little bit. I know these guys are getting closer to winning the tournament, but I want to see some of these other games. I want to see what's going on in Lexiel's game against Dretch. We have Conrad Holt, the young American, playing against Women's Grandmaster Lexiel's. We've said one fantastic performance after another she might be having here. Right now she seems to be much worse out of the opening, and the g5 pawn is going to open up doors for the d6 pawn to fall. So she has to be careful, but at least the knight's hanging. So it's a little bit of a tactical mess that she'll calculate. And if she does, then